Good morning and welcome again to English Learning. My name is Nijmuddin, and in today's lesson number 9, we are going to learn about general questions or yes or no questions. We are going to learn how to ask questions with did, do, does and will, and we are going to remember again the past, present and future tenses because it is important, especially in this kind of lessons. And we're going to have examples and exercises. Okay, general questions are called otherwise yes or no questions. All the questions that expect yes or no as an answer are logically called yes or no questions, as we can see in the following questions and answers. For example, is this a cat? We can say yes as a short answer, or yes it is as a longer answer. Are these books? We can say no, or no they are not. Is that a tree? No, or no it is not. Are those flowers? Yes, or yes they are. So the questions that expect yes or no as an answer, they are logically called yes or no questions. Nice. So before we move any further, we need first to remember again the past, present and future, how to conjugate, for example, the verb to learn. The verb to learn, we learned already that it is a regular verb, and when we conjugate it in the past simple, we said that we guard the stem and we add ed, as we can see. In the present, we add s to the third singular pronoun only, he or she or it. And then in the future simple, we said that we put will plus the stem and with all the pronouns. And we have to do that with the verb to do. The past form of the verb to do is did with all the pronouns. In the present, we say I do, you do, he or she or it does, and then we, you and they do. Alright, so now we learn how to ask questions with did, do or does. The formula below will illustrate. Did or do or does plus subject plus stem plus object and the question mark. For example, you learned English. You is the subject of the sentence, learned is the verb, and English is the object. And learned is conjugated in the past simple. You learn English, same thing. You is the subject, learn is the verb, and it is in the present simple, and English is the object. The third one, he or she or it learns English, and we added s to the third singular pronoun. If we ask a question with did, do or does, we do not conjugate the verb of the sentence. It remains in the infinitive. For example, did you learn English? Do you learn English? Does he or she or it learn English? We don't add s, for example, in the third question. Yes, it is he or she or it. It is the third singular pronoun, but we do not add s when we ask a question. If we want to ask a question with will, for example, you will learn English. Will learn is in the future simple, and if you ask a question with will, we put will plus the subject plus stem plus the object and the question mark. For example, will you learn English? Nice. We will understand hopefully better with the following examples. We have Mary cleans the house, or she cleans the house. The verb of the sentence is cleans and it is conjugated in the present simple. When we ask a question, we say, does Mary clean the house? We don't say, does Mary cleans the house? And the same thing with the next example. James walked in the park, or he walked in the park. The verb of the sentence is conjugated in the past simple. So when we ask a question, we say, did James walk in the park? We don't say, did James walked in the park? Because we learned when we ask a question with did or do or does, the verb of the sentence remains the same, remains in the infinitive. We do not conjugate the verb. Fine, and these are some more examples. The boys played football. When we ask a question, we say, did the boys play football? We don't say, did the boys played football? They wrote a letter. We say, did they write a letter? We don't say, did they wrote a letter? James saw a plane. Did James see a plane? We don't say, did James saw a plane? You will cook a meal. We say, will you cook a meal? Nice. And to practice what we learned, here is an exercise for us. The instruction says, turn the following statements into questions. The exercise is easy. We add ed to all the verbs to form the past simple. A declarative sentence ends with a question mark. We learned about these in the previous lessons. And we need to remind ourselves again that all the questions that expect yes or no as an answer are logically called yes or no questions.